So have you ever played Team Fortress 2 and thought to yourself, these guns are great, but I would rather run around dressed as a firefighter shooting people with a water hose? Well, maybe you can do that in Team Fortress 2 considering all the different mods out there, but you can also do that in a free-to-play action-fighting brawler game called Brawl Busters from Skiing Globe, I think? Well, it's now on Steam too, so that's pretty sweet. Boy, that just sounded like a commercial, didn't it? Well, it's not trying to be a commercial, this is trying to be a review. So here we go. BB is a third-person action beat-em-up game that lets you choose between 5 unique and goofy classes that are kind of inspired by Team Fortress, I would have to say, and fight head-to-head or play co-op in 2 different kinds of modes. The classes are as followed. A firefighter, which has a hose to spray nearby opponents and blast with water and kind of stuff. He's more of kind of a defensive person. He can keep people at bay and shoot them with some sort of grenade kind of attacks. There's the rocker, who literally is a rock musician, who has a guitar that he swings around kind of like a nunchuck, and it has a pretty sweet area of effect attack that can clear out a huge groups of bad guys. There's also the boxer, which is my favorite one, who has the lowest HP, dash into people and beat the crap out of them, fist-to-fist style. There's also the blitzer, who's basically a football player who has the highest HP but is the slowest attack, and the slugger, who's kind of like a sniper. He's a baseball bat swinging character who can hit baseballs at people from a distance. You can choose different body types and that kind of thing, from little midget brats to a sultry looking hooker that loves to draw attention to her hoo-has, to the fat looking football player, and so on and so forth, depending on what kind of style you like. Each class has a standard attack, a secondary attack, and a special attack that's usually their, well, special ability. It usually takes longer to do, but does the most damage or puts up the defensive barrier or whatever. Along with those, while beating up on opponents or objects around the arena, you can get special abilities and perks that can help you or your teammates. These range from everything from poison bombs, extra defense, more speed, jello bombs that'll hold opponents in their space, and so on and so forth. So it adds an extra element of strategy to it. When you start the game and you see someone beating on the scenery, it's not because they're crazy, they're actually trying to build up the items.
But Twitch, what about the game modes? Are there really cool game modes?
Well, it's a little light on that. The long and short of it, there's about 4 or 5 modes that you can play. There's the usual free-for-all, where everyone's for themselves. There's a team deathmatch, I suppose you could say, where, shocker, you're on a team and have to destroy the other team. But my favorite is the zombie horde mode, where I know, the whole zombie mode where waves of zombies come after you and you have to beat them up and they increasingly get harder, has pretty much jumped the shark, but I felt it was the most solid mode out of all of them, and I had the most fun with it. Along with those modes, there's also a boss mode, which is hella hard, and a team mode where you have to defeat people and collect their opponent's souls or something like that after you kill them. I didn't really care for it. I guess the P versus P matches just didn't feel very balanced to me. I mean, it's epic fun when everything's going right, but I kept running into the problem of knocking down my opponent's health and then trying to get the last hit in while they run away and regen their health. When it works, but when I feel like I'm playing a game of tag, it's just not fun. I played a match where I did the most damage in the game, but I had the least amount of kills because every time I start beating the crap out of someone and their health got under 50%, they'd run away from me. Then I'd get stopped by one of their teammates, so I would never be able to get the killing blow, or one of my own teammates would get the killing blow. The thing is, it's part of the strategy with the game, and I would do the same thing. I found my health getting low, I'd run away. As long as you're not stuck in jello or poison, you can easily just dash away from trouble. Hope you can find a place to hide and get your health back. But you can argue that the same thing happens with most multiplayer games like Call of Duty or Halo or whatever, so maybe it just seemed to annoy me more in this game for some reason. So arguably the most fun I had was the zombie mode, where you and up to 3 other people can take on waves of goofy looking and increasingly harder and annoying sometimes zombie hordes. Besides some of the more cheap zombies that show up in the harder difficulties, there are 3 difficulties, it's good fun to beat the crap out of the undead with your friends, or random strangers for that matter. Leveling up is a bit slow moving at times. It's a free game, so they want you to come back and maybe spend real money on some of the items in their inventory. You can get perks, you can get clothes, you can get more damage for your weapons, you can get more armor for your body, and most of these things you can buy with the in-game currency, which flows like water, by the way. Some some of the more specialty perks you're going to need real money for. The good news is that as you level up, some of these things come to you for free, but many of them have a time limit, so you may not be able to use it forever. But unlike other free-to-play games, I never really felt I would be at a disadvantage if I didn't dish out the dough for some of the better stuff. At least so far since I played it. It might change later. Overall, even with a lack of game modes and slight balance issues, this game is awesome, brain-dead, beat-em-up fun. Getting a super sweet combo and a group of opponents and finishing them off with a bomb item, then teleporting away just feels oh so sweet. So for someone like me that's not a big fan of the free-to-play games, I did enjoy this game a lot. It's a fun beat-em-up that you can play a few matches here and there, then go play a more hardcore game like Team Fortress 2. So it's not going to feel quite as deep as other level your guy up multiplayer games, but it'll entertain you in the downtime between them. Overall, I'd give this game a solid 8 out of 10. Not many modes and lack of real depth kind of hurts it in the long run, but I say give it a check out for some quick and frantic fun. Thanks for listening everyone to this Retro Gamer Ranting review of Brawl Busters. This is Twitch, and don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, fave, all that good stuff that helps feed the fire to keep me doing this for you guys. The feedback really helps out, and I really appreciate it. Till next time, game fans, keep playing everyone, and thanks for watching.